although several have transferred into the program. And we are ready to go here in Piscataway. Cliff Maurier once again wins the opening tip, and Paul Mulcahy controls for Rutgers. Junior guard out of Bayonne. And now Ron Harper Jr. back-to-back double-doubles to start his season as Caleb McConnell dials up a three, not there, and they'll get Mulcahy on a foul looking for that offensive rebound.
Yeah, no doubt. So really when you look at this, the sloppy start, you don't want that to exactly happen. You kind of want to open up this area with a bucket, but again, we're still less than a minute in here.
That went over Lehigh 73-56. NJIT, a team that has 3 guys averaging in double figures. Antoine Butler, he's their point guard. Here's one of the guys in double figures. He's their leading scorer. Miles Coleman finds Butler on the wing and sinks the three. Now, talking to NJIT's staff before today's game, they said the key against Lehigh was a couple of shots went in early and they got their legs under them. And the first 3 points come from Antoine Butler there. Geo Baker with his first touch. And now Mulcahy off the Harper Jr. screen. Pick and pop. The three's off the back of the rim and a one-hand rebound for Suleiman Diakite.
Yeah, it's one of those things so far, Dom. We just mentioned how it got hot for NJIT in that last win over Lehigh. Already starting out pretty well here so far tonight. Only 3-0, but you want to see Rutgers be able to respond to some of these early threes from NJIT.
Mulcahy driving the lane, got stripped. That's going to stay on this end.
Bit more aggressiveness so far here from the Scarlet Knights, trying to drive to the hoop so far within this first 90 seconds. Still looking for that first bucket, though.
Yeah, Rutgers has the size advantage in this game as Harper Jr. misses the layup. And the rebound there for Butler. NJIT team pegged to finish 8th out of 10 in the America East preseason poll. A part of that is because they've got several newcomers and they lose 2 of their top players from last year's team. A couple of 3-year starters in Zach Cooks and San Antonio Brinson are at other schools now. But don't doubt it, they've got shooters, they got talent, as Butler dials up another and missed it wide right.
Bit of a wild shot right there, but you see what they're trying to do so far, Dom. They want to be able to hit those shots from the outside, really put the pressure on the Scarlet Knights in the early goings of this first half.
Maurier up for the screen. Caleb McConnell off balance 2, no. And it's tipped out of play. It's going to stay with Rutgers off an NJIT tip.
Look at McConnell double clutched that as well. Just an awkward shot. Really didn't get the spot he wanted to there. It seemed like he was a little bit more hesitant to shoot that ball there. Maybe looking for a pass across the court.
Rutgers team that has 2 wins in 2 very different ways. 73-70 and an overtime win on opening day against Lehigh, and then the 48-35 squeaker against Merrimack as Geo Baker opens the scoring for Rutgers.
Exactly what they need to get the crowd back into a nice little step back shot there from Baker right from the free throw line. One of his hot spots, as we've seen throughout his long and prosperous Scarlet Knights career.
Yeah, this is the 120th game that is for Geo Baker in his Rutgers career. And here is Dylan O'Hearn, highlighted him. 16.5 points on the season. That's a deep contested three, and he left it short. Rutgers looking to run again off that missed basket, but in transition, NJIT gets back. McConnell trying to attack and lost it.
It's what they want, though. They were attacking there in transition. You had a perfect opportunity right there for a bucket, and just talking to the NJIT staff down below, Don, before they mentioned they need to stop Rutgers in transition. Otherwise, if they can't do that, it could be a long night for the Highlanders.
Yeah, an athletic NJIT team that feasts on fast pace and moves like that as Butler sneaks it in past Maurier. An early 5 points for Antoine Butler. Well, nice start here for the Highlanders, team that has never beaten Rutgers. And now Harper Jr. Blow by on Fall, blocked from behind, but he got fouled.
That's what you need. I think that's what you need to do as well early on if you're the Scarlet Knights. So the outside shooting, aside from, of course, Baker's step back shot from the free throw line, you start driving in just like this, like Ron Harper Jr. is. Attack the basket. Because again, you mentioned before, Don, Rutgers obviously has the size advantage in this matchup. So might as well take advantage of it early. Try to wear these guys down within the first 10, 15 minutes or so.
Now 2 at the line for Ron Harper Jr., who has been the producer for Rutgers. talked in the open about how he's the only guy in the Big Ten with double-doubles in each of his first 2 games. Against Merrimack Saturday, it was a team-high 13 points plus 11 rebounds. And 1 of 2 there for a typically sure-handed free throw shooter. You saw Andre Hyatt enter during that break as well for Rutgers. O'Hearn, the senior JUCO transfer, kicks to the corner. Suleiman Diakite long on the mid-range. And here is Hyatt, who had a boisterous 8 points last time out. Baker hiding behind the screen for the catch-and-shoot 3.
Looks like it's going to be Geo Baker versus Antoine Butler in the early goings of this contest. That's a huge bucket right there for the Scarlet Knights, pulling back within 1. Sorry, put them ahead by 1.
Baker gives Rutgers its first lead of the night. Early 5 for Baker on a couple of makes. Coleman, step back, it's a 3 of his own, missed it, and the tip rebound comes to Baker. Running, Hyatt, catching and laying it in.
Seemed like Hyatt coming in just gives you that instant spark. We were talking about him off on down the court before during the pregame, Dom. He is one of those spark plugs you mentioned before. Quality 8 points last time out for the Scarlet Knights.
Now, Rutgers wants to run against an NJIT team that is athletic and very aggressive defensively, but there they get the back door to open up as Miles Coleman finds his first 2 points. Baker, oh, the crossover. Baker hard to the glass for 2 more, and a great start for the 5th-year senior.
Yeah, he's getting hot right now within the first 5+ minutes. What you want to see for a team that struggled offensively against 2 non-conference opponents. Start getting this going now.
NJIT again looking for that 3. O'Hearn fires and fouls. Andre Hyatt overextended a bit on the closeout, and when we come back, 3 free throws coming for Dylan O'Hearn. But
A lot to worry about because when a star player gives you a star effort early on, tough to stop that train.
Dylan O'Hearn at the line for 3 free throws after the Hyatt foul just before the break. O'Hearn through 2 games has been NJIT's best free throw shooter at 88%.
Also one of their best 3-point shooters as well. 5 of 10 from downtown through those first 2 games, winning 4 of 5 in the win over Lehigh.
And got 2 out of 3. Those first 2 points of the night. Rutgers has the 1-point advantage thanks to a quick start by Baker. And same 5 in here for Rutgers. Mulcahy using that 6'6" frame in the posts. Cross-courted for Ron Harper Jr. as it rattles in and out. Nice work there by Cliff Amorier winning the possession back.
Yeah, he's one of those big guys down low, and big is a pretty obvious statement when you're talking about Cliff Amorier. Basically has NBA size, as we've seen just looking at him down during pregame warm-ups, but he is that big presence that you have to worry about if you're NJIT. Might need 2 guys on him all night.
Hyatt carving in, and Hyatt right by the rim finishes.
Beautiful finish on that second effort. Hyatt already making use of his early minutes.
Somebody who declared during that Merrimack win, I'm here. Andre Hyatt is here at Rutgers, no doubt about that. O'Hearn off the dribble, trying the blow-by, and a point-blank layup there for Diakite off target. Right back for Hyatt. 2 defenders collapse on him, and he gets fouled.
Good fake. I'm not sure if that was actually an intentional fake on that 3, but he drew 2 defenders off him, and of course, draws the foul right there.
May have been more by necessity than anything else. Now, Steve Peichel described NJIT's defense as one that gambles. They get in the passing lane, try to be active as Hyatt off the mark on the 3. James Lee off the bench. Rutgers wanted to travel, didn't get it. Inside for N.J.I.T, and that time better around the rim.
Good quality bucket once again. Might have gotten away with the travel right there, but N.J.I.T keeping this one closer, not letting Rutgers go on these huge runs.
Baker, as Rutgers looks to lob it. They've done that several times in the young season for Cliff Amourier, having a breakout sophomore campaign. And here is the center on the handoff for Harper Jr. Hiding behind the screen. Timer at 4. Hyatt on the back down. 1 to shoot, had to double clutch and missed it. That little strip may have affected the shot. A chance for N.J.I.T to reclaim the lead as Coleman slips it down low for Makai Gray and a two-hand jam.
Going back to that last possession for the Scarlet Knights, and Dom, it just didn't seem like they wanted, or they didn't really know what they wanted on that possession. They swung it around, only played about half of that half court.
Mulcahy long on that 3. Now, so far, the hot shooting has been mostly contained to Baker. Coleman pump fakes, staggers, step into the lane, and Amourier made his presence felt. And he lags behind the play as we go the other way. Harper Jr. up strong for the layup. But back on the other end, Cliff Amourier a bit shaken up after contesting.
It's more about the outside shooting, the three-point shot, but you can never replace a great big man like that. And as you mentioned, the breakout sophomore campaign, NBA size, Amourier is only going to get better here on the banks.
Yeah, Amourier goes to the bench. They'll get a couple of minutes to recuperate as O'Hearn with a great layup driving the lane.
Yeah, this guy starts feeling his shot, whether it's just driving to the hoop and laying it in or finding his mid-range game. He is going to be tough to stop for the Scarlet Knights defense all night.
New lineup here for Rutgers. Baker and Hyatt stay in with Ralph Gonzalez, A.G., Mawat Mag, and Jaden Jones. And there is the star freshman attacking the lane in the layup. Almost a carbon copy of what we saw from him just a couple of days ago against Merrimack.
I was just going to say, he's picking up right where he left off. Jaden Jones has already become a crowd favorite, and you get him going right away off the bench. Solid start for the freshman.
O'Hearn, that's a deep 3 from the Jersey Mike's Arena logo.
We were talking about O'Hearn pretty much the entire first half so far. He's the guy you have to key on if you're Rutgers, because if he gets going, it's going to be lights out from downtown.
Baker off the Gonzalez AG screen, had his pocket picked. And here comes James Lee, who got fouled from behind.
I would say a necessary foul right there for Baker to try to stop this NJIT squad in transition.
Yeah, right there.
Pretty much, as we said before, out of necessity at that point.
And the first foul against Baker, just the 3rd against Rutgers here in the opening half. Meanwhile, NJIT has knocked down 4 of its last 5 field goals, and a team that has plenty of the shooters, the sort of get hot quick shooters like Dylan O'Hearn. They're shooting 50% so far. Slip downstairs looking for Mason, and he fumbles it out of play. It's Keyshawn. Mason, one of 3 new freshmen on the team.
That was great defense by Andre Hyatt right there. Just kept his body big, didn't commit the foul, didn't jump, didn't commit a blocking foul as well. Just perfect body placement, and hey, lose the ball out of bounds like that.
And there is that aggressive NJIT defense, but too much as Lee commits the foul.
Just talking to Steve Peichel before the game, Dom, and he mentioned NJIT, they're very aggressive, and they'll gamble a lot, but you're going to hear a lot of whistles. They're going for those reach-ins, whether they're going to be fouls or they're going to be pickpockets.
That's something that Rutgers is trying to key in on, take advantage of NJIT's aggressiveness, and also take advantage of their willingness to commit fouls. Now that is just the 3rd against the Highlanders. Mulcahy back in here, off the hesitation, downstairs for Mag, had it blocked. Scrum for the ball. Gonzalez AG down on the deck now. And was he out of bounds? Right by the boundary. Now we'll get a jump ball before that. And the arrow favors the visitors.
No, look at that. It looked like that shoulder might have landed, but yep, that butt's basically inbounds, so we'll consider that inbounds. It's like the NFL with a catch, or it's like college wrestling where as long as you have at least a pinky in, you're still inbounds.
There you go. And so the Highlanders get the ball back. 6 lead changes already between these two teams. O'Hearn, catch and shoot once more, and the rainbow down once again for Dylan O'Hearn, feeling it early.
Yeah, that's his favorite spot right now. He's hit 2 from downtown from virtually that same spot, right near that Jersey Mike's Arena logo. If you're Rutgers, might be too early to start double teaming him, but you got to find a way to trap him and get the ball out of his hands on these offensive sets because they're going to move fast.
Yeah, he's got 10 points in 10 minutes, O'Hearn does. Rutgers looking for the answer. Mulcahy on the drive once again, couldn't get it off the back of the rim. Highlanders breaking out. Good gather by Lee, not there though. And here comes Mag. Outlet for Jones. Jones on the attack. And Rutgers fortunate to keep the possession here. Mag. Massive size advantage here. But can't bank it. Now Rutgers will keep it with Gray and Gonzalez-Agee both crashing the glass.
NJIT bench not happy with that call. They thought Rutgers last touched it, but right there, I mean, that's what you want, Dom. You mentioned the size advantage that Mag had right there. You just have to be able to knock down that turnaround hook.
Now Mag, a guy who stands 6'7", as we get the corner 3, and Ron Harper Jr. knocks down his first triple of the night.
That was much needed, already facing a 5-point deficit. Again, it's not a huge deficit. It's still very early in this ball game, but you have to get shooters other than Gio Baker going in this first half if you're the Scarlet Knights.
It halts a quick 6-0 burst by NJIT because O'Hearn has been the guy, but Mulcahy is there for the steal. McConnell in transition. Jones, open, 3, book it!
You hear that? That's what happens when you start getting these points back on top.
Yeah, it was an early Rutgers career high 9 points in 15 minutes, also the most he's played in a Rutgers uniform. Well, the back-to-back threes give Rutgers the lead. Miles Coleman has the answer, and that is the deal with this NJIT team. If they have their shots dropping, and they have tonight, they can get back into games quickly.
And it didn't even seem like Coleman got off a good shot. It looked like an awkward release that somehow just found all cotton right there. You mentioned it, Dom. If they're hot, they're going to be hot. It's going to be very tough to slow them down.
Mulcahy using Harper Jr.'s screen. Off the Euro, no. Gonzalez-Agee, a one-hand rebound and gets fouled. That's a big man rebound right there.
Yeah, we call that a big man rebound, a grown man rebound, whatever you want to call it, but it was a nice recovery right there for the Scarlets after the miss there from Mulcahy, who really hasn't been able to find his shot tonight. But again, you see Gonzalez-Agee right there. Tough play down low.
Well,
college basketball is going the way of you're going to see a lot more grad transfers or just, some veteran guys changing schools midway through their college careers. So you have to account for that as a head coach. And Kenny's done a good job of it so far with, was it 6 or 7 new guys that have substantial minutes so far this season. I mean, that's a tough roster to manage, but doing quite a good job of it so far.
Gonzalez-Agee gets 1 of 2. It's his first Rutgers point. NJIT looking for its second ever win over a Big Ten school. Got one way back in 2014 over a then top 25 Michigan. Kennedy was on that staff again as an assistant. Now, so far the shooting has been there. Highlanders are shooting it at a 50% clip, plus 4 of 7 from deep. And a lot of dribbling here for Antoine Butler. 3 to shoot, drives the lane, and not a great possession there for NJIT.
Just a wild shot there off the glass. Really didn't know what they wanted to do with it on that possession.
McConnell the other way. Great slip for Gonzalez-Agee. More free throws coming for the big fella.
There you go, mentioning it again. NJIT with these fouls, they're going to gamble as a defense, and right there, I mean, if you're either going to give up a dunk, an easy bucket, or you're just going to commit the foul right there, and Gonzalez-Agee back to the line.
Gonzalez-Agee with Andre Hyatt, the 2 transfers that are new to Rutgers. Now, quite a journey for the native of Victorville, California. This is 6th year of college. Gonzalez-Agee started at the D2 level, Cal State Dominguez Hills. and spent a year at East Los Angeles College, which you may know is the site of Lost Chance University basketball, the Netflix series. He was there the year before Netflix came. And then most recently, Gonzalez Agee spent 2 years at San Jose State, where he was a breakout guy last year. Career highs across the board, and expected to provide some solid minutes in the post.
Just missed out on the Netflix exposure right there.
Yeah, by 1 year. Well, we're back even at 24 all. It's been entertaining. Teams knocking down some shots, good defense, plenty of threes. And Rutgers looking to capitalize. On a bunch more dribbling, they do another turnover.
There's that defense you just mentioned, how we're going back and forth in all phases of the game so far. And Amorier back in seems to be all right after getting, we'll just call it, shaken up a little bit on his last possession, on his last series.
Yeah, it looks like Cliff Amorier is A-OK, which is important for Rutgers because, man, what a season he has had in just 2+ games. Via the post, Harper Jr. tipped away. Nicely done, Miles Coleman. Last touch, Harper Jr.
Yeah, even Harper Jr. was pointing to himself on that pass. Looked like him and Mulcahy were just not on the same page as to where that ball wanted to be placed down low. But, hey, Harper Jr. is going to say, that was my bad. On to the next possession.
And here is Antoine Butler holding up top with Gio Baker back on the floor after those quick 7 to start. Lee, it's a long 2, and it's too strong. Looking to move quickly. Mulcahy. And again, Rutgers goes into the back down. Mulcahy, where are you going? Tried him one way, tried him the other way, had him fooled completely. And Rutgers gets it back. Left it short, another offensive rebound.
Mulcahy had a pretty move and then a golden opportunity. Just has not been able to find his stroke here tonight so far.
Now Amorier's chance in the post. Affected from behind, and N.J.I.T snatches it away.
Never a good sign if you're an offense where you have second and third chance opportunities. You just happen to come up empty. Just again, another possession where Rutgers just hasn't been able to establish where they want to go as an offense, at least in that set.
O'Hearn, he's got 10 points already, and McConnell commits the foul, and to exchange some extracurriculars after the fact.
Even the referee had to say, hey, it's okay, it's okay. We're just gonna, we'll just move on to the next play here, so to speak. McConnell giving the official a little thumbs up.
Well, McConnell, along with Mawat Mag, are the two guys that Steve Planko considers his top defenders. And I will say, with McConnell getting the assignment now against a red-hot Dylan O'Hearn, as a defender, you try to do anything to knock a shooter out of his rhythm, and even something like that. Butler. Back for Lee. Under 10 to shoot. N.J.I.T fading away, and the hook wasn't there.
You mentioned McConnell's defensive presence and also his ability off the glass. I know it's one of those simple rebounds, but he definitely brings a different spark to the game here.
Oh, that's a tough angle layup. Caleb McConnell getting tough.
You know, they say the broadcasters jinx a lot, but I think that time I actually helped out McConnell in transition right there.
First 2 points for McConnell tonight, and Rutgers has its latest lead. O'Hearn emerges through the screens. Trying to go baseline. Well defended. Amorier and McConnell both there. Wide open 3, and McConnell missed it left. Chance to blow the top off Jersey Mike Serena. But the other way, O'Hearn with the quick release and sinks another 3.
Even McConnell can't stop the hot stroke that is from Dylan O'Hearn. But going back to that last possession, Dom, straight on 3 from McConnell. Those are one of the ones that just really swings the momentum into your favor. Rutgers has not been able to find their stroke or even find their range for some of those knockdown shots.
And trying to get into this set as Baker gets a hard screen. Throw it up top for Amorier. Off balance, couldn't fit it in. Harper Jr. gets it back for Baker, who's open, and it's in and out. Rutgers has gotten a couple of good looks lately, and they're just not able to knock some of those down.
Bringing a guy like Caleb McConnell to defend him, even McConnell, who's one of the stout defenders on this Scarlet Knights defense, even he can't stop him so far.
Coleman hoists from great distance, and the tip out finds the Highlanders. A fresh possession. Skip pass. Now it's Makai Gray looking to dial it up and banks it in. That's been that kind of first half for NJIT.
Yeah, they pretty much find wherever they want right now in terms of shot making, shot selection. All Codner using the glass. Doesn't matter so far for NJIT. They're hot.
Jaden Jones back on the floor. He's got 5 points. Rutgers clearing out, but now Amourier up for the pick. McConnell, fadeaway mid-range. He drains it. That looked good there from Caleb McConnell.
Those are the buckets you need, Dom. I mean, so far Rutgers has been able to find their success in the paint, but then once they have some of these possessions where they're getting second or third chance opportunities, they're trying to create, it seems like, too much just from outside, too far for the mid-range game.
Coleman, another tough look, and this time missed it badly. On the pinball, it's knocked off of Jones. Great effort there, Antoine Butler.
Yeah, he would not be denied right there. That ball was about to trickle out of bounds on NJIT and tried to deflect it back in, and he managed to do it twice. Saved the ball, and then as he was falling out of bounds, just knocked it off of Jones's foot.
The shot clock is at 10 as Butler steps into a 3, and it's the 7th first half 3 for NJIT.
Talk about NJIT getting hot. They were hot against Lehigh. They're hot against Rutgers right now.
Baker. They slip it downstairs. Amourier trying to get going. How about the mid-range from the big guy? No. And N.J.I.T knocked off balance. Teams that have fought for every loose ball. That sort of game so far.
That's what NJIT wants to do to Amourier, but we know he's so dominant down below, whether it's getting the ball off the glass or forcing in those dunks or small little layups, forcing the mid-range game. That's where he lacks, so to speak.
On the blow by, kick out. Good look for Lee. Not there. Would have been a big NJIT run with that. But instead, Baker got fouled.
Rutgers just has to be able to find some sort of offensive rhythm. So, I mean, you see them having success in transition, but then also you don't see them having success in transition because if they don't knock down that first shot, just the second and third chance opportunities tonight for the Scarlet Knights, they haven't been going down either. And when you only have virtually one guy who's been consistent shooting the ball tonight in Gio Baker, you need to rely on some of these other guys to get going, and none of them really have yet, except maybe Ron Harper Jr.
Well, Harper has 6 points, and he comes back on the floor here. Baker, step back. Gio Baker, yet another shot maker.
Not going to take credit or anything, but Gio Baker once again trying to get this crowd back into it.
Yeah, Baker's got 9. That's a team high. He's 4 of 5 from the floor. Baker is. Coleman dribbling through, zips it down for N.J.I.T, who blew the dunk. Oh, he's wide open. And Jones will control. Coming up on the final minute of this opening half. Baker, saucy. Baker spinning into the lane, and everything is going in this first half for Gio Baker.
That's the home-friendly roll and bounce right there on that rim. Gio Baker now in double figures with that bucket in. Dom, again, one of those buckets. You hear this crowd, they're rising to their feet with 40 seconds to go.
And they respond to Steve Peichel cajoling them on. And O'Hearn back on the floor, looking for one more flourish. Behind the screen, 8 to shoot. Butler, 4 to shoot. Butler has to hoist. That's a bad possession and a shot clock violation. They won't call that though. Rutgers gets the ball, and they will hold for the last shot. try to reclaim the lead going into the break.
With the way Baker's organizing this offense right now, you know he's taking the last shot here.
And it is the fifth-year senior with the ball and 5 seconds left. Poked away. Baker trying to reclaim it. Can't, and that brings an end to the first half. The college, second-year junior college transfer. See if Rutgers can stop him. But we get back to action here in Jersey. Rutgers trying to go to 3-0. NJIT looking for a statement win. Ron Harper Jr. will take the first shot of the half, and good look at a three, but missed it. Now Rutgers trying to tie up the rebound, but Matt Faw outlets it. In addition to O'Hearn, Antoine Butler had 8 points, and the point guard controls now. Here's Suleiman Diakite, and there is O'Hearn trying to get back to what he started, but the rattle in and out.
Talking about a home bounce and a home rattle helping out the Scarlet Knights right there, as O'Hearn could have really silenced this crowd with that three.
Now Rutgers heads into the post, but McConnell airballs that jumper.
2 quick possessions for the Scarlet Knights so far. Just they chuck it up three from Ron Harper Jr., then McConnell trying that one up from the baseline. They haven't really taken their time to set things up, as this game might have to be slowed down for the Scarlet Knights in order to slow down this NJIT offense.
Trying the back door, and a foul's called as O'Hearn missed the lay-in.
Oh, O'Hearn, you know they're going to keep feeding him. We mentioned feeding the hot hand. Another look at that coming underneath before he was fouled. He's a magnet for the bucket right now. We'll get a chance to extend the lead here on the free throw line.
And that foul is the second against Caleb McConnell. Dylan O'Hearn now shooting into that Rutgers student section. As we told you about, this is the 12th consecutive sellout here at Jersey Mike's Arena. Goes back to the 2019-2020 season. It's a program record, and well, some more shenanigans over there. They've got different inflatables. There's looks like a popsicle stick.
I see an ice cream cone.
Ice cream cone. I mean,
there's a sort of an ice cream cone.
There's a T-Rex. What do we got going on over there?
A lot of beach theme here tonight.
Yeah, Baker dump it down for Harper Jr., who finishes through a whole bunch of contact.
Got the friendly roll right there as well. Ron Harper Jr. Much needed bucket for him as well. Giving him now 8 points on the day. Second leading score for the Scarlet Knights.
And puts it back to a 1-point difference. And Amorier read that the whole way. They were trying to get McColeman through a couple of screens. On the other side, Mulcahy dials up a three. No, but Amorier gets fouled, hunting for the rebounds.
You gotta wonder what's going on with Mulcahy right now. Again, he has these open looks. I want to say that's maybe the third or fourth extremely clean look from three that he's had. Just has not been able to knock down these shots. 0-3 from downtown so far tonight. It's a good thing Amorier was right there to clean up with the rebound.
And Mulcahy's somebody who's got a great track record too. You know he can. But in for Baker, into the corner. Gio Baker puts Rutgers back on top, and he gets right back at it.
Well, unfortunately, you have a cold guy on the floor, but you also have a hot guy on the floor. That's Gio Baker. Another three ball for him.
O'Hearn looking to get back into his rhythm. Butler and Baker going at it. Coleman. A couple of threes that have missed here for NJIT, but they get a second chance. O'Hearn, he's a quick catch and shoot guy, and that was all he needed to get open.
No matter which side of the floor, Dom, he seems to favor that right side of the arc. And again, if he gets free there, you only have to give him about a half second to 1 second entirely, and he'll just chuck that one up for three. And he seems to have a knack right now for finding all cotton.
Baker looking for the answer, and he found it. Of course he did.
Why not? Can we just see a one-on-one between O'Hearn and Baker the rest of the way? I mean, we have 7. I mean, it's a long time for the second half, but I mean, these two guys are trading shots right now.
O'Hearn's got 18, Baker has 17, and of course it's going to number 2. Switch with Harper Jr. Bigger defender, blow by, into the paint. Cliff Amorier says no thank you.
Good box out too for McKay to get the rebound.
McConnell rhythm three, no. Missed it off the top of the backboard.
I know you want to hit that if you're Rutgers to really extend this lead and to hit those buckets in transition, but was not needed.
Coleman gives it a try and left it short. And once again, a fight for the rebound. Harper Jr.'s got it, though. And McConnell wisely pulls it back, now slipping it down for Amorier and missed his target.
Yeah, a little off target, as you just mentioned. Couldn't quite tell if McConnell just wanted to thread the needle and just feed Amorier down the lane, or if he was trying to get that alley-oop in there.
It's been one thing that Rutgers has not done as much today as it has done in the first two games, and that is, we've talked about it a lot on these broadcasts, live above the rim, get dunks, highlight reel alley-oops. We've seen a lot of that over these first two games, but, well, not tonight. O'Hearn running the offense through him at this point. Back for O'Hearn. Again, all he needs is a little window, but that time missed it short.
Seems to be his weaker side, at least shooting the ball, so good job by Rutgers to force him out that way.
Up top, that's what we're looking for. Cliff Amorier jams it down.
Well, it's about time to get this place rocking. Amorier, you can always count on him to slam one home with two hands for safety. Everyone to their feet now.
First 2 points of the night for Cliff Amorier. Butler almost travels. The defensive intensity ramping up for Rutgers. Can NJIT answer? Butler, that's a deep three, and he connects. Every time the Highlanders have answered the call.
Yeah, they don't want this game to get away from them. Largest deficit of the night was only 5.
Harper Jr. leaning in once more, and he's got 10 points.
That is a tough bucket. That's a grown man bucket there for Ron Harper Jr.
McConnell forces the steal. Here come the Scarlet Knights. Oh, he had Harper Jr. open. Now the dump down over the head, and didn't get the layup, but when we come back, Ron Harper Jr. will have a couple of free throws. In front of a sold-out Jersey Mike's Arena, or even anybody that is at Jersey Mike's Arena fans, that is until this year.
I mean, isn't that bonkers? Because considering this team did make the NCAA tournament last year, but no fans all year last year, and I mean, they have come back in a force. We saw it with football. We've seen a lot with the Olympic sports. We saw it with wrestling resuming just the other week as well. I mean, these fans love their Rutgers sports, and they were sorely missed over the last calendar year.
Yeah, it was something that Ron Harper Jr. said in announcing his return to Rutgers after leaving for the NBA drafts process, deciding to come back with Geo Baker. And, well, those two guys have had big nights. Baker's got a team-high 17, and Harper now has 12 points plus 5 rebounds. Rutgers now has its largest lead of the night. James Lee is able to get it back to a one-basket difference.
As you mentioned, Dom, NJIT just seems to always have an answer once Rutgers thinks they're going to start pulling away in this contest.
Some subs in here for the Scarlet Knights as Baker penetrates and lots of hand contacts. It's going to go against Butler.
Well, keep feeding your hot hand, Geo Baker. Let him be your ball handler, more so than usual. It's paying off so far.
Quickly in, Andre Hyatt was open. Following the miss, Harper Jr. Right back to the free throw line.
It's good effort by Ron Harper Jr. to clean up that mess with that rebound, drawing the foul. He's been a much bigger presence down low in this second half.
Now 2 free throws here for Harper Jr., averaging 13.5 and 10.5. That is points and rebounds per game. Leading the team in steals and blocks as well, and his return for one last dance here on the Banks is what he called it. One more year as a senior for the product of Franklin Lakes, New Jersey. An alum of Don Bosco Prep.
Well, it certainly helps when you get your 2 leaders back in, Ron Harper Jr. and Geo Baker. This team could have looked drastically different this year, Dom, if they both decided to not come back, but both decided to test, hey, maybe test the NBA waters a little bit. But hey, fans are back. One last run. Try to get back to the NCAA tournament, maybe make it even a deeper run. Why not?
Yeah, that's the goal. But tonight the goal is to get through a hot shooting NJIT. Go inside. NJIT can't find it with Diakite because Harper Jr. was waiting. Hyatt. Lots of contact once more. Hyatt 10 feet away, no. And here comes Butler. And it circles back around. Good cross by Coleman. No look feed, but blocked from behind. Hyatt was there.
Wow.
And a flopping warning that will go against NJIT, it appears. So here's a second look at the block.
That was a beautiful block by Hyatt and McConnell, just a late poke as well. So again, the swarming defense for the Scarlet Knights paying off right there, hanging on their largest lead of the game with 5 points. Another angle at it. See Hyatt, clean trail, all ball right there.
The flop warning was against Rutgers. I did not see any flopping. I didn't see any movement.
Considering Rutgers was on the defensive side there, I can't believe they flopped.
On the back door cut, McConnell finds it wide open.
That was clean right there. McConnell left all alone under the basket. You're going to nail that pretty much every time.
Rutgers now has the largest lead of the game. It is a 7-point gap. Highlanders need something here from O'Hearn. Coleman looking to get in the mix. Has not really been able to tonight, even though he's their leading scorer. Try to extend the run. Harper Jr. Scoop, no. Tip back, no as well. Downstairs, a foul. Keyshawn Mason got hit.
Yeah, that time the defense down below for the Scarlet Knights. A little too aggressive. No, look at it. Yep, a little more skin than ball that time.
And that'll put Keyshawn Mason, freshman from the state of Kansas, at the stripe.
Even though this game is tight down, I know this is Rutgers' largest lead of the night at 7 points, but one positive, they're definitely shooting the ball better. I know the numbers are a little skewed with the three-point percentage down for the Scarlet Knights tonight, only 5 of 17 from beyond the arc, and of course the tough night for Paul McKay, who's one of the guys checking back in for the Scarlet Knights. But other than that, they're starting to feel their rhythm a little bit more, and it definitely helps out that Gio Baker is really sparking the rest of the lineup.
Sir Henry stopping by the broadcast booth. Hi, sir. It's great to see you. Looking at the stats.
Well, he certainly approves.
He likes the shooting percentages.
He definitely approved on the missed free throw as well.
Hey, Sir Henry, you made the broadcast. I'm sure he's not surprised.
Now he's ready to, run his way back down near the court.
Mulcahy trying to elude Antoine Butler. Quite pesky in this scenario. And the shot clock already at 10. Find Jones. Feed the post. Gonzalez-Agee. 3 to shoot. Hook shot, yeah. That looked good from Gonzalez-Agee.
A little old school right there. A little hook right down in the paint. One of the most unstoppable shots in basketball if you can get consistent at that.
First time in 29 years. And a team that is veteran, lots of returning starters, and primed for a deeper NCAA tournament run.
Definitely brings a lot of juice back into this building over the past couple of years in his amazing rebuilding job. We're going to keep it rolling down this year.
Now, NJIT out of their timeout, trying to get back on a roll. A roll that had them at one point up by 5 late in the first half. But they will be going to the line when we come back. We're going back to a break. Rutgers still in front, though, by 9 as they try to get to 3-0 on the year.
NJIT has the ability to really rip their way back into this contest.
Yeah, with O'Hearn. By the way, the foul before the break not called a shooting foul, and as you can see, it's NJIT with the ball, trying to get O'Hearn back at it. Andre Hyatt drives it back to the Bronx.
Yeah, that ball is gone as it out of the arena. Hyatt had an easy swat there. Awkward shot there from O'Hearn as well. Kind of just chucked it up. And Hyatt said, yeah, we're not going to play with that one anymore.
Local product from New York City, happy to be playing closer to home. And what a block there. And now the timer at 8. Deep three, this time it's Butler who takes it and barely grazed the rim.
Some extracurriculars going on down there. James Jones. Oh, I think they just teed him up.
They did. And that's a talented freshman with one of the most experienced players in this program's history, exchanging some words of wisdom.
He was getting into it with James Lee for NJIT. It was when the ball trickled out of bounds. He was getting grabbed from behind, Jones was, and then they both had some words for each other. But yeah, you see right there, Lee turns around, referee is still next to James Jones, and he keeps talking, and unfortunately, even if you talk for an extra 2 seconds, Dom, it's always the second guy who gets in trouble.
Yep, that's exactly it. And that puts O'Hearn at the line for 2. Well, O'Hearn in the first half had 13 points on 4 of 6 shooting. He's now got 6 points and make it 7 points. 1 of 5 shooting, though, as Rutgers tries to keep him cold, but do a couple of trips to the line, help the senior spark up once again. That's a question.
So Jones is going to hit the bench now after that technical foul. Talented freshman who had some big buckets in that first half, and obviously was huge in Rutgers' last win against Merrimack. Sure he'll get, half an earful on the bench. They say, it's all right, you didn't do anything egregious, but sometimes you just got to keep your mouth shut.
And NJIT showing a little bit of pressure there, too, against Rutgers. Harper Jr. pulls up from 7 feet away, and Ron Harper Jr. having another one of those nights with 16 points and 8 rebounds.
Good recovery there from Harper Jr. as well. Kind of got stopped in his tracks, almost got called for the travel, had to reset his feet. Managed to just pull up and take the shot, nailed it.
Matt Faw pick and pop 3. He can hit those, but not there. And Andre Hyatt shows you his vertical on that rebound.
Able to draw the foul from Antoine Butler as well. Hyatt's been a impact player already since coming into Rutgers. Only his 3rd game with the squad, but the LSU transfer is, you don't want to use the term impact player so early in the season, but we're going to use it anyway. He's been an impact player so far.
Yeah, let's put it like this. Talking to Steve Peichel before today's game, he said Andre Hyatt is a lot like a Quasi Yaboa. Does a lot of everything. Steve said too, glad we have him here for 3 more years. That is the case. Just a sophomore. Baker using the Gonzalez AG screen. Slip it back from Mulcahy, trying to get him going. Tightly guarded. Makai Gray defensively. Mulcahy had it blocked. Shot clock does not reset. Hyatt identifies. Long 2. No. And fumbled out of bounds. Rutgers will get it back.
Not the worst there from Hyatt. Obviously had a good look. Just couldn't nail it, but Rutgers does luck out here. The ball going out of bounds on NJIT. Mitch trying to get Mulcahy going. It's been a tough night for him.
Dump it down for Gonzalez AG. Rutgers continuing to win the rebounding battle, and maybe that is the spark that Paul Mulcahy's looking for.
I said in the first half with the broadcaster jinx, I think I need to say something so the guys who are cold start getting hot. Mulcahy finally, his first bucket of the night, comes at a big time, goes to the line for the 3-point play.
Mulcahy had missed his first 7 of the night, and I think all you need to know is his sigh of relief and his teammates' reaction to that make.
It's a team game. It's the team culture right here for the Scarlet Knights. So they just constantly support each other. Look at that. Mulcahy misses his first 7 shots, gets the tough one and 1. Double-digit lead for the Scarlet Knights.
Rutgers continues to extend this lead as NJIT goes cold. Missed its last 6 field goals. O'Hearn, well contested. Mulcahy tried to grab that in the corner. It's going to go back to NJIT.
Yeah, it looked like he just did not know whether to touch that ball or not. I mean, obviously, it's going to get a couple smiles from teammate Gio Baker, but it looked like it was last touched by NJIT, and it looked like Mulcahy was going to just let the ball trickle out of bounds, but he questioned who last touched it.
A shot clock does not reset, so 6 on the timer as Mulcahy pokes it away. And Rutgers does get it back. That's the thing with Paul Mulcahy. We hear that from so many folks in this program. You know, before he had the 3 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and a pair of steals. So he's been contributing in other ways. It's been the offense that he's tried to get going.
Yeah, and that last possession could get him going as well. You know, all it takes is one, Dom.
Killer cross from Harper Jr. and a silky smooth jumper, too.
Oh, that was dirty.
He's in a groove. Rutgers by 14, trying to blow this game open. Coleman, and finally finds something for the Highlanders. Their first made field goal in well over 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was a 7-0 run for the Scarlet Knights, and something they desperately needed in this game to start trying to pull away as we hit the latter stages of this second half.
And Harper Jr. looking to get back at it. And senior attacks, driving to the glass. And N.J.I.T fumbled it. I thought N.J.I.T fumbled it. Highlanders will get that back.
I want to say the ball might have went off of Ron Harper Jr., who was standing right underneath the basket.
Oh, maybe Hyatt there tipped it out. Good slip there by Coleman. Pick and pop and knockdown. Back within single digits, N.J.I.T. Much
well,
needed.
But they're going to live and die by the 3, and it's one thing that actually can bring them back into this ball game because they are still shooting 43% from downtown.
That triple from Miles Coleman slows what was a 17-6 Rutgers run. Looking to get back at it. McConnell airballed it.
Decent look there from McConnell, just did not get the best shot off at all right there. Whiffing on the basket.
Now Coleman looking to create some space. Lee driving, and who kicked it last? Highlanders did. The Rutgers team that has started 2-0 now all 6 seasons under Steve Peichel, and trying to continue its role. Rutgers started 6-0 last year as well. If you'll remember, that included the big win over a top 15 Illinois team. In a season that has already seen so many non-conference upsets, Rutgers trying to avoid one from great shooting team. As Hyatt short on that jumper. And the door open here for the Highlanders. But that too ambitious, although it is saved in bounds somehow. And McConnell into the contact. No, but Hyatt cleans it up.
He's always there, it seems like Hyatt. He's been a force around, in and around the basket, whether he's putting the ball in the hoop or he's clearing out traffic. He's been key tonight to keep this Rutgers lead now back up to 11.
Slip it for Coleman. Another 3. Maybe it's Miles Coleman's second half. It was so hard in the first half.
Well, they're starting to chip away now. You get Coleman, your second three-point shooter. That's going to get hot. Don't forget about Dylan O'Hearn. He's been quieter in this second half, but once he hits one, Dom, we know he's going to say, you know what, I'm going to chuck up 3 more and make at least 2 of them.
Harper Jr. Offensive rebounds. McConnell flies to the deck and saves it.
Tremendous effort from McConnell. Diving on the floor, and he slid too.
Rutgers' 15th offensive rebounds. Oh, Mulcahy like Houdini, but couldn't sneak it in the rim. That was a great look too.
That's another one of those looks. He's had a few of those tonight where he's made a beautiful move to the hoop, and just the ball has not been able to find its way down the bucket.
Lee may have caught an errant foot there, but he trips out of bounds, and Rutgers will get the ball.
May have avoided a foul call there. Then look at the McConnell play, again sliding across the floor. Always looking for the open man. That is just quite the job in his limited action, so to speak, coming off the bench, also 3 blocks. So, I mean, he's been pretty much all over the place, and he's one of those guys where you don't need him to score 20 points a game. The 6 to 10 point range, just fine.
Oh, Harper Jr. got blocked. O'Hearn looking ahead. Gray jams it. That's a tough dunk by Makai Gray.
That'll certainly pull NJIT right back into this ball game. Only a 6-point lead now for the Scarlet Knights.
Yeah,
one of those momentum swingers.
Underline that, 6-point difference. How about Rutgers answering on the other end with Big Cliff?
So what do you think? Was the first dunk good or was the second one better based on that crowd reaction?
I know what the fans liked, that's for sure.
Oh my goodness gracious.
O'Hearn trying to heat up again. Makai Gray just had the dunk, but now shot clock winding down. Butler. Gray was open. That's a good look. NJIT continuing a good night from deep, but not there. Mulcahy using the pump and floating it in. Everybody sat back from Paul Mulcahy, and it's been a nice couple of minutes here for Paul Mulcahy.
That is a much better drive to the hoop from Mulcahy, one of his best tonight. Had that pump fake. He's been cold from 3, but also had his struggles driving into the lane, but he's fine there.
O'Hearn from the logo, no. Ron Harper Jr. snags his 9th rebound too. And his veteran Rutgers team slowing it down with now a 10-point lead and 4.5 to go.
I was going to say that dunk for NJIT just a few possessions ago brought it back down to 6. Rutgers able to get that lead right back up to double digits.
Amorier. Five to shoot. Well defended by Diakite. Hyatt late in the shot clock. And another offensive rebound. Rutgers eating on this end. And Harper Jr. back to the line.
Nothing wrong with that. Even if you don't make that shot right there, you draw another foul, go back to the charity stripe. And again, the second chance opportunities for Rutgers. If you're not going to score on these buckets, hey, if you at least draw the foul and give yourself a chance at the line, you'll take that.
On a night where Rutgers wanted to take advantage of its size difference, it's out-rebounding NJIT on the offensive glass 16 to 4. And 16 offensive rebounds leading to 19 second chance points.
Speaking of rebounds and big numbers, that's now the 10th for Ron Harper Jr., giving him 3 straight double-doubles to start this season.
How about that? Another big one for the senior, came back and immediately was named a John Wooden Award preseason watch lister. One of 50 guys on the watch list for the National Player of the Year. He's at that caliber. Now hopping around a little bit right as we're talking about it and trying to keep the weight off of his right leg.
He'll try to jog it off. I want to say it might have been a rolled ankle.
Say quickly, yeah, I'm okay. That's a great sign. I don't know if we'll see him the rest of this game, but his status is certainly something you think about. As Baker has his pass tipped, it's going to stay with the Scarlet Knights, though.
I would hope those fans in the stands right there at least had their heads up and not down on their phones. That ball was a rocket off that deflection. Can happen. Got to be aware in here.
If you've got a seat like that in a sold-out gym, I mean, you ought to, with the way this game has gone. Now, Baker has been a catalyst for it. 17 points as he gets to one of his favorite spots and hits another step back.
I think he said, "Oh well, my buddy Ron Harper Jr. is on the bench right now. Let me tie him in the game lead for points on our side." That's 19 points for Baker now, and again, that classic step back move we've seen inside this arena for so many years.
Skip pass from Makai Gray. O'Hearn barely can handle it, with McConnell draped all over him. O'Hearn poked away. Here comes Mulcahy, cutting to the rim and fouled.
Either Mulcahy was going to do that himself, but he had Hyatt trailing as well, so it would have been a nice play to set up, but again, if you're NJIT, you're going to see a lot of those fouls, and at that point, you have to stop that basket. Great pickpocket there by Mulcahy.
Now you could see Hyatt lingering, looking for that lob too, but the foul coming right as Mulcahy went into attack.
This is what you want to see for Rutgers down the stretch here. Keep your foot on the gas pedal as he nails that first free throw from the line. You keep it a double-digit lead here, Dom. Again, this team was believe it or not, they were trailing by a point at halftime in a seesaw affair, but the second half has been quite the different story.
Yeah, and for the junior from Bayonne, New Jersey, Mr. Headband Highlights, it has been a nice second half as he finds some of that shooting touch. And Ron Harper Jr. back on the floor as well. It's a good sign.
And right ankle taped up. Definitely is fine. He's walking a little weird, but that's to be expected.
Coleman. Great coverage and maybe too good there by Mulcahy as he commits the foul.
I think Mulcahy was pointing at the official. Looks like now he's pointing back at the puck. I thought Mulcahy was about to argue that calls. It looked like incidental contact at least, but hey, sometimes you're going to get those foul calls even well after that ball's in the air.
And that'll put Miles Coleman at the line. The senior JUCO transfer. He's from Indian River State College in Florida. And he's got 13 points tonight, most of them coming in the second half, but was a hot shooting start for this NJIT team. In the second half, 4 of 14 from deep, not quite at that 50% pace we saw earlier.
Yeah, that has certainly slowed down in this second half, namely from Dylan O'Hearn, who was off his rocker in that first half. Still has 20 points of the night, leads all scorers.
McConnell. And back downstairs for Harper Jr. having another big night. More free throws coming.
They'll take them. Get back to the line, keep the lead where it's at, extend it. Take those free opportunities. N.J.I.T is going to keep fouling, especially this late in the ball game. They're going to be physical down low, so.
We've documented for you about the double-doubles. Now 20 points to go along with 11 rebounds. Harper Jr. had never had back-to-back double-doubles, and now he's got 3 in a row to start this season. And in a year where he opted not to keep his name in the NBA draft and come back, you look for what? An improvement on the court and a boost in numbers. And well, we've seen both of those so far from Harper Jr. after what was already a great junior year last year.
His stock is rising. I know it's non-conference play. It's very early in the season, but, how could you not love what he's doing right now with 3 straight games double-doubles and now 2 minutes away helping his team to a 3-0 start. Well, we were bound to see one of those tonight, an irate Steve Peichel.
He wants to see his team close this out with that foul coming off the ball. NJIT is going to need some of those threes to get back in it. Could use this. Don't get it, though, as O'Hearn once again is short.
He's just missing his spots right now. He had a good look, but that was from deep. But again, O'Hearn has been hot from the right side on both ends of the court. That left side just not quite there for him tonight.
Here's Baker. Trying the blow by getting to the rim. No, but Cliff Amourier waiting for the stuff back. And that may just put the cherry on top of this one.
That's just like a normal play for him at this point. We've seen a lot of highlight dunks from Amourier. That time, that was just cleaning up the garbage.
Tough one, but it goes down for Antoine Butler, and NJIT takes timeout.
Gonna finish one of those things. If you're on the defensive end, you just better get out of the way.
Full court press for NJIT, and a foul coming right before the lob.
You saw they were trying to trap him in the backcourt. Rutgers does burn off 8 seconds right there. But I would imagine nailing both of these free throws and getting them back up to sit to a 16-point lead. That might be where you pull the plug if you're NJIT.
And that foul is the 9th one against NJIT. That is why Caleb McConnell's at the line. Pardon me, it's the 10th foul against NJIT. So 2 free throws here for McConnell, who led the team in free throw shooting last year, but this is the first there. A guy who is healthy this year for the first time in a while, had his first full off season since getting to Rutgers. It was 2 herniated discs in his back last year. Was expected to redshirt, came back, and was a big impact player on that NCAA team a season ago.
He's been an impact player over the last 2+ years, and especially on the team that likely would have made the NCAA tournament had it not been canceled in 2020.
It's a tough kick out. 3 there from Faw, no. Rebound for Harper Jr., yet another. And Hyatt, room for takeoff, and fouled from behind as Faw denied the poster.
That's one of those aggressive fouls from NJIT. They don't want to get shown up here on the road. Hyatt easily would have thrown that down with one hand. He was ready to bring the remaining fans back to their feet as some start to trickle out as Rutgers, with only 45 seconds left on that big 14-point lead. Now Hyatt can really put this game on ice.
Yeah, and an important night tonight for Andre Hyatt. Not only his performance, 7.6 rebounds, but the director of basketball operations for NJIT, a guy by the name of Danny Manuel, was Andre Hyatt's head coach in high school at the Miller School down in Charlottesville, Virginia. To sum up what Danny Manuel told us, he called Andre Hyatt a home run human, and said he's expecting Hyatt to have a ton of success in this team-first Rutgers system. We've already seen that success.
Yeah, obviously it was almost pure coincidence that they managed to face each other on this schedule between Rutgers and NJIT. But you know, just when he was talking to us before the game, Dom, he was, he was beaming.
Yeah.
The fact that Hyatt was not only about him as a player and a human being, but he was beaming the fact that he decided to come back up here and transfer to Rutgers, and he thinks he's going to fit in quite well in this lineup this year and moving forward.
Shot clock turned off. A sold-out Jersey Mike's Arena rises to its feet. Rutgers with an early season best in field goal percentage, an early season high in points, and the Scarlet Knights polish off a 75-61 victory over NJIT.
Yeah, it did. Not to say it didn't look good